Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our flag reveal and flag reveal seed for the Class 202 of our Duckling Boot Camp. Oops, All Loose Shard Hunt. This is I like these I like these flags, which is going to sound odd given how much I like running black belt, but the it's complete opposite. Instead of checking no chests, you check all chests. Let your loot goblin fly. I am DM Stewart 1981. Alongside me in the booth is Rex. How many
Hello.
Rexes?
How you doing?
Uh, Doing all right. Yourself?
Pretty good. Excited. This is gonna be my first time running one of these for the Ducks. So
Awesome.
it's gonna be fun.
It will be. So let's talk about these flags.
Yeah. So this is Oops All Loose. We'll see what that means in a second. And also Shard Hunt. We're gonna go through. You'll see we're still in Long Temple of Fiends. So we'll be doing the full Temple of Fiends. There will be an exit. Shard Hunt here with a goal of exactly 24. This is a mode where the orbs have been broken into shards, and you have to collect all of the shards. Well, maybe not all of them. You have to collect exactly 24. There's actually a setting for that. You do get shards from defeating fiends as well, but not a ton of them. Two for the first two fiends, and then four for each of Kraken and Tia.
So you can, that's half the shards you need. So
That's true. That is 12
beating,
shards.
beating all four fiends is 12 shards.
Most of our scaling here is going to be based on the beginner flag set, so this should look pretty familiar. I will point out this experience and gold progressive scaling. It's 0.12.5%
Um,
per orb or 8
they're
shards.
They're not on the window. You may want to.
They're not on the.
They're not on the stream. There
Oh,
we
it's
go.
only getting the. Thank you. Yeah, and so this is. You can see it now, right? Looks good?
Yes,
Thank you. Yeah, so every 8 shards gets you 12.5% more experience and gold. That is not a lot. Um,
it
what do you
really
think about
isn't.
that for a black belt?
No, thank you. We're already out of black belt territory on Oops All Loose and Shard Hunt.
Yeah, so here you see locations 0, items 0. Everything is just random. If you've played some other randomizers, they might work like this. Uh, it can be fun having to check everywhere, but it does mean that there's not really any logic other than what things you can and can't access. There's no special incentivized locations.
Right.
A
What does
game.
that loose placement forward mean?
Oh, that's worth taking a look at. Uh, so, forward, there's a few different ways the game can try to place loose items. Tries to put them in newly opened up areas. So, it'll make chains. So, uh, if you find the TNT, for example, which I think of because of this pop up, um, going to the TNT is slightly more likely to get you something that will help you get to the next place. If you get the uh, if you get the canoe, the next item that you need is more likely to be behind the canoe somewhere. It's not
Okay,
guaranteed, but it does make it more likely that you have to sort of progress forward through the game.
that makes sense. But in a flag set, I'll for the benefit of the ducklings, in a flag set where we have at least some loose items, check that loose placement. Check those loose placement flags. In the partials, also check that loose if that no loose and incentivized dungeons, which isn't going to matter tonight, but it's something to keep in mind for future flag for potentially for future flag sets where you have partial loose
Absolutely.
because those are popular flag sets.
Especially if you do like to go open random boxes. You are required to open random boxes if things are loose. So you have an excuse. It's fine. Anything you want to say about game mode and overworld?
You cannot walk from Dwarves to Northwest Castle. You've been able to the last couple of flag sets. You cannot tonight. You cannot in this flag set.
That's true.
Only early open is on.
Yep, so you can use the river system to get from Provoca to Crescent, and you can walk from Canaria to Dwarf, but otherwise it's just the vanilla map.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of this is pretty standard. Early progression, randomize the pillars and Titan's Trove, and then add the Gaia
Yeah.
shortcut. But it shouldn't be anything new here, right?
Yeah, these are similar to what we've already had. These are the same things we've already had.
There's some things to look at here, though. You want to walk us through these?
Sure. Um, so we're shuffling all of our treasures like normal. We're getting a free bridge. We'll have all of our shards are in marked trapped chests. So you will see some of the chests will have a little X on them. That tells you it is a trapped chest, which means it will have a fight in it, and it will have a monster. It will be monster in a box. If you remember from later Final Fantasy games, have monster in a box. Well, these will be monster in a box, but they will be local formations, so they will be drawn from the area that you're in, which most of the time should make sense. There are a couple of places like say Cardia Isles. It'll be it'll be taken from any of the dragon fights.
Yeah, and if you get one in Matoya or something, it just takes the general area around it.
Right. Welcome, Sweetie Bet Racing.
Yeah, thank you for the raid.
Black.
Shops and magic, I believe, are the same as the last few flags we've done.
Yes, they are. These are still based off the beginner preset.
Excellent. Let's look at our enemies, formations, and bosses.
Nothing unrunnable. Shuffled scripts. I always like to see shuffled scripts. And skills and spells. Yes.
We do have.
Back to shuffled trap tiles.
Yep. Other than that, it should be what we've been doing, though.
Yeah, other than that, it's pretty standard.
And party composition. I don't know if we've actually had this yet. We get to pick whatever we want.
We have not, because our first three flag sets are 101, 201, and 102 we're all based off of teaching you a specific melee carry. So
Yeah, so you get to pick your melee carry here. I'm going to recommend
exactly.
not the black belt in most cases. Uh,
Yeah, unless the black belt comes up with some incredible set of blessings, don't take the black belt in these. It defeats the whole point.
you're going to be picking up a lot of equipment. You're going to be picking up good equipment, hopefully. and that usually is going to push you toward a fighter or a thief, maybe both. Um,
Yeah,
I think the last time I took a black belt in something like this, it had teleport magic, and that was just too good to turn down.
yeah. Telemagic is probably hard. It's real hard to turn down.
In our classes here, I think most of this is pretty standard. Thief lockpicking is off, so we won't have access to that. Uh,
White Mage Improved Harm. I don't remember if we've actually discussed White Mage Improved Harm.
I don't know. Let's do so.
Um, White Mage Improved Harm is the White Mage is usual. The White Mage in the vanilla game is pretty much garbage from an offensive standpoint, unless you have undead, because the harm spells or Dia, if you use the alternative spell names, don't do any damage to anything that's not undead. White Mage Improved Harm will let those spells do damage to anything as long as they are cast by a White Mage. Please note, this does include the Light Axe.
Absolutely. And we will get 2 bonuses and no malices per character, so we might have some fun stuff.
Now, those harm spells will still do more damage to undead, but they will damage everything now if the White Mage casts it.
We're also going to get a random area of effect caster item. This is a nice thing to have in case you have to deal with some early packs of things or the magic isn't good.
It's all in all a lower variance start.
And we will have -2 to +5 on our weapons and armor. So we could have some duds, but overall they're going to be better than normal. Certainly appreciate that. I don't think there's anything special on the game adjustments, right?
No, there's nothing special here. This is the normal. This is our normal fix the perfectly coded vanilla game.
And we do have magic menu spell reordering on. I know we missed that for a flag set, but if you want to buy spells and then move them around, you can do that now. And nothing in our beta flags, so I think we are
Yeah,
pretty much good to go.
I believe we are.
Anything you want to talk about before we jump in?
Uh, no, I'm intrigued to see what the I'm very intrigued to see what the blessings are for the classes.
Well, let us go ahead and find out then. Oh wow,
Oh wow. Yes, please.
yeah. Fighter has Hurt Dragon, Teleport Magic. Hurt Dragon's not bad, but the Teleport Magic, uh, I I almost
Oh,
always will take something with Teleport Magic.
yeah, especially when it's something that gets the amount of health a fighter does. Because the survivability of a fighter.
Thief has
Oh,
bonus
yes.
agility and luck. That's pretty good. Black Belt has
Yeah,
plus
no.
40 strength, promo fighter armor. You don't really want to promo or wear fighter armor, and the strength doesn't affect unarmed combat, right?
Yeah, I don't believe it does.
Red Mage, extra hit points, equip Gauntlet and Helmet. That's not bad.
It's not bad.
The Vitality is nice. Hurt Undead is kind of funny on the White Mage that already does that with spells anyway.
That's a tanky White Mage.
And Vaughn mentioning in chat the strength blurring on the black belt is useless. It helps you in the first few levels if you're still wielding something, or if you have a strength bonus and legendary swords. That's great, but otherwise, yeah, not doing much.
Yeah, no. Buff magic and equip shields. Okay, I know what party I would take with these blessings.
I think for me, it's Thief, Fighter, question mark, Black Mage. I assume that you have those three too, and then the last one is where it gets tricky. Although maybe
See,
not.
I'd be taking Thief, Fighter, White, Black.
You're taking Thief, Fighter, White, Black. Alright, well, definitely Thief, Fighter. And then let's look at red has the extra hit points, white has the extra vitality, which will work out to more hit points. Long term, I think you could go either way, but I'm not terribly worried.
You could go either way. You could go either way with it. The red mage is going to have more survivability off the get go. That white mage is going to have a lot more. Is going to have more long term. Hurt undead with the harm all is interesting.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the white mage. I like white mages, and we have a guaranteed caster item, so it's very likely the white mage will have something to do, even if the magic isn't great. I'll feel bad if, like, Nuke is at level 2 black or something, but this does guarantee access to things like Wall and Life 2 that you might not have if you only have a red.
Yeah. That's the other reason that I tend to prefer a white mage to red mage. Is making sure I have access to those life 1, life 2 exit, although less so with the fighter having telemagic, but
I think you could even put a nun in that slot if you really wanted, but I think with all the gear we're getting, we're going to want people to use it.
Yeah.
Does Hurt Undead play well with magic? I believe Hurt Undead is only on actual physical damage.
There's a great question in chat. Why is telemagic considered so OP? Because it is guaranteed 2 charges of warp or exit right off the bat. So you can get all the way down to you can YOLO a dungeon a lot easier with that telemagic because you don't have to worry about getting out.
It also can just save you time. Like, if you go deep into a town for something, you can just exit out immediately. You can go turn in the slab or the crystal or something and just exit out. It doesn't save a ton of time each time, but if you get to do it every time from the very beginning of the game, it does add up.
Yeah. It'll save 5 or 10 seconds a use, but from the beginning of the game, that 5 or 10 seconds added up every time, is the difference between, in a big race, is the difference between first and fourth. And yes, you can also get untrapped from the Lefanian linebackers.
All right. Are we ready to get started?
If you are.
I think so. 3, 2, 1, go.
And let's see what we've got here. Let's see what we've got here at level 1. Cure 4 and Invis 2. Already that white. Although those would be red mage learnable.
Oh boy.
Level 1 nuke, level 1 fast.
Yeah, so red mage would have been okay. That's our hint.
Red mage would have been fine. Red mage would have been fine, but expensive houses. red mage would have been fine, but I don't. I am fully in favor of the white black play here.
Couple early encounters. In the future, I'll probably reset past those. But for now, it's useful to learn where they are.
Yes. And already we have a loose item. It's crystal. And a canoe. Two loose items in Toph. Good call, immediately warping out and saving. See, already that poison smoke terminated. Already that enemy scaling is 70 to 120. It's the beginner preset enemy scaling.
Now, you can't exit or warp here because it'll bring you back to Temple of Fiends.
Because it takes you back to the last place you were on the overworld. And bridge boss. So there's a slightly better way you can do that to get to maximize your free steps. And we get a crown.
Oh, true. You can cross it twice.
Yes, 3. You can cross it 3 times. Ooh, EXPs. Love to see EXPs.
They're pretty dangerous at this level, but we got the jump on them, so... Alright. Oh, no, you can't run, because that won't do anything. Oh, that could be a problem. We'll see.
Could be an issue. Or not, because poison smoke terminated. And there's an herb. Yeah, Bane doing some work.
Okay, so they're at the very end of the encounter table. There's 2 very close to each other.
Well, yeah. So to answer Vaughn in chat, the marked chests are shards. And that, I agree, is the correct play. Right, shards only, not key items. I do have one question for you. While you were in the menu, why didn't you move that saber +3 over onto the fighter? So he can actually swing instead of just punching.
That's a good point. I don't tend to menu items very often. We did see 2 heal potions there, which means there's no incentive item in a store.
Right, I was just bringing that up. That is our shop item. Okay, Oxyel on the 5th floor of Ice Cave. Let me count floors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's on the drop-down floor. That'll be on the drop-down floor.
And I think even though going right could make a lot of sense, because I have multiple incentive items that I can turn in going left,
yes.
I'm going to do that first.
I fully support that play. Ice and Volcano are also a lot more dangerous. You can get a free step by ducking in and out of that little lake there too.
Oh, very true.
Sorry, I'm in teaching mode. I'm gonna point those out.
No, please do. It's important.
Yeah, again, I especially this early, I don't I don't do um that's gonna be an adamant, so we're gonna walk right back up to Dwarf Cave from here.
Yeah, that's real funny. Wow,
Uh-oh.
what a low roll.
Yeah, it was a super low roll. That was a better roll. So, especially this early, I don't linger in rivers unless I have to. Yeah, more like that.
I was
That's
all
a new.
set to reset out of this because it was likely to be some random nonsense. But it was not random nonsense.
It was not, in fact, random nonsense. And Franklin does make a good point. If you know that you're burning encounters, don't don't use the free steps. But once you've burnt the encounters, use the free steps. And that is a tail.
Probably will use that.
Probably so. The question is, are you going to do it as quickly as you can, as quickly as possible? Are you going to do it as soon as it opens up?
Only if I have equipment that I'm really excited about.
There's a level 3 Fade that would not be Red Mage learnable. But I think is Red Wizard learnable.
I think so. I'll... Sure. Maybe could take Harm 3 there even, but... The Rod is in...
Rod
Wait a
is in
second, I
Marsh.
should go reread that. Was that Marsh?
I think it was Marsh. Let's reread that.
Northwest Pass of
Yes.
Marsh Cave.
Marsh Cave Top. So it's Marsh Top.
No tents still.
The cabins, as I recall, weren't all that expensive. Yes, hint givers are the real MVPs in Oops All Loose. Now, I noticed something in that shop that's something I will come back for, and that's that Pro Ring +4. Because not only is it protection from insta kill, it's also the best in slot for mages for arms.
It's not bad
Especially
for
at
anybody
+4.
at +4.
It's not bad for anyone at +4.
You can see me burn off these encounters. It actually, even though it feels like, oh, I'm walking, I'm not going anywhere, it's actually a lot faster than having to deal with an encounter and run.
Yeah, and especially in Marsh. There is a thing in Marsh that something will roll nasty. There's our Rod. Something in Marsh is gonna roll some awful script. Like those wizards. Like those wizards from Sunday. So that Bane Sword probably isn't going to do much here.
It might hit the creep. I don't think it hits anything else, though.
But the Fade's going to go off, and that's going to handle all that. And that's shard number 2. And yes, again, I fully support burning off two encounters to get that hero run.
There is some risk in going into Marsh without the key. We might have to come back, but it's so rare, and it's right here, that it's just worth doing.
Or you might get the key in Marsh.
True.
All right, let's check our Tetris Z piece.
Oh.
It's a slab. So I actually do that room a little differently. I go straight up between the two, on the line between the two chests.
Yeah, I think that's faster. It's the same number of encounter tiles, but it's overall like fewer steps. I haven't relearned the muscle memory on that one.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, it's always worth calling out. There's so many tiny improvements that you can make. And when you want to be as fast as you possibly can, every one of them matters.
You're not wrong.
We still don't have ship or canal, so we're kind of priced into going to the right half of...
Yeah. Yeah, we're kind of at the point of we're gonna have to go to... We're gonna have to go over to the Crescent Lake. Yeah, I would probably, given how much money we've got, I would probably have picked up Pro Rings right now.
Oh, that's a fair point. I wanted to save it for things that we might find here, but actually that's a lot of money.
Not
Yeah,
bad.
I could have spent that.
I mean, it's also not a bad choice to just save it and look here. That silver armor is an awful nice find for that fighter.
Yeah, I think the reason that I'm not going to take it here is that we're just going to open so many boxes very soon.
Chime is on 6 is
6
Agama Floor.
Yeah.
Now, see, there's one thing I would do on this, and that's if I'm burning encounters here, I would at least see what the encounter is before I just reset out of it, because it could be 40 XPs.
That's true. I'm always disappointed by the EXP experience quantity, honestly. Which,
Well, but we're at a low enough level that those peds are gonna be juicy.
That's true. Oh, and we get to route all of this because we have to check every box.
Yeah. Which feels awful, especially dumb hairpins. Okay, Frost Giant Burwolf on the on the fire elemental tile.
We'll see that encounter again.
Oh well, yeah. Silver Shield +1's not awful.
It's not, and that pop-up reminded me that the Black Mage can use it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Black Mage has equipped shields. Okay, there's another fire elemental tiles. Ta-da. Good, good, good. You avoided the spike tile there.
Ooh.
Hello, ribbon. I don't disagree with putting the first ribbon on the white mage.
I forget what these are weak to, so I'm just gonna nuke them. They're probably not weak to Bane, but when I don't remember, I tend to just throw it, and sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised. I did get that one. That wasn't very useful. That's funny.
French vanilla fire elemental.
And it is better not to cross the water when burning those encounters.
Out it on that floor. You don't have to swing down because there's the door there.
Oh, you're right. That saves an input. That's great.
Small optimizations. Those small optimizations can be the difference between winning and losing a race. Slightly more optimized to go straight up.
Oh,
Mage
that was
stick,
a
nice find.
yeah. That was a typo. Sometimes you
Okay.
input wrong and you just got to push through it.
Yeah.
But absolutely, you want to minimize the squares that you step on that have
Ice sword
encounters.
+3. Hello.
Yeah, that'll get me to.
That'll get you to where you get. That'll get you to where you get major. To where you get great weapons. Okay, Life Reboot in chat, as though he didn't already know, asks, why is this called the Agama floor? Good question. This is called the Agama floor. By the way, there's chime. Because this is the floor where in the last room before you drop down to Carrie's floor, there are two chests in a vertical stack, and next to both of those chests is an Agama trap tile. And it is a pretty good grind location. There's another shard. This is why you max out your heal pots before you come into Volcano. Because heal pots are much more easily replaced. And can potentially be replaced within the dungeon.
You know, just do that. That's fine.
Yeah. And they're thin, so...
So this is 5 shards out of 24. That's not a ton for this point, but it's fine.
Oh, there's still a lot. There's a ship. Where is that ship going to spawn?
I know. Do the ducks know?
I think I know.
I am pretty sure that it will be in Elf.
I am 90% sure that it will be in Elfland. But I know there is some weirdness. Oh no, that weirdness is just an AP. I think that weirdness is just AP. Where it could potentially spawn at Corneria. Okay, the seafood party pack. I really don't like the seafood party pack.
I'm gonna kill all but one of them and then get the run, is what's gonna happen. But these are dangerous enough that I wouldn't even mind.
But you get all of it, so that is... And it's a good thing you did, because that's a ruby.
And I feel like my chances at carry are very good, but not 100%, and it's just 2 shards. So I am going to
Yeah.
go ahead and head out.
Okay, I don't dislike this play of going to ice. It's
If
the
we
proximity play.
Yeah, if we had the canal, I might just go ahead and go get the ship and go around. But we don't.
Yeah, we don't, so. Just say my only question was if you had restored all your magic charges.
Yeah, I had not, and so I used a house right before I went in because I realized, oh, I don't know if I have. Actually, I must not have had 2 warp and exit charges. Because I will want access to those.
Well, to answer Zero in chat, probably not ever going to go back and take carry. It's only 2 shards.
But I think you're right. If it did come up, it is still probably the safer play.
Yeah, it is much safer. Ice armor -2.
I could still wear that. I'm not going to take a lot of time, but the next time I'm in the armor menu, if I don't have anything better, I will equip it.
Oh, that's a bit of a dangerous fight. I almost would. Okay, Odron asks a good question. Why do we walk along the wall after going into the room, specifically the bottom wall? And that is because the bottom wall does not advance our encounter table. So you cannot get an encounter on that particular on those particular tiles. There's one of those pro rings.
That's a good find. Oh, right, you don't have a weapon. Oh well, that's fine. I did open that. There's the
There's our
Oxyel.
Oxyel. There's the promised Oxyel. Well, the thief's whole purpose is to run away from things, and maybe after promotion to be another nuke caster.
Thief will get nuke and fast. That's actually pretty good.
There's another ice +3, so also something for the ninja to swing.
With all the boxes we'll be opening, hopefully we'll just find a katana, but if we don't, that's a perfectly fine sword.
And the other hidden benefit of the warp trick is we don't have to go back around the loop. Actually, the knight... does the knight get fade? I don't remember.
I think wizards resist everything, so that was probably a waste of a Bane sword.
Not like it has charges.
Yeah.
There's TNT.
That's good, because we still can't leave the inner sea right now.
Yeah, there's TNT. It's dynamite. But now at this point, I'm going to head back. I would head back and get the ship and take the ship over to TNT. And I think it does have to be canal behind the TNT. It could be key. It could be key, but that key is then going to lead us to the canal.
Unless I missed a box somewhere, but I don't think so.
I don't think you did. But this will actually be an excellent opportunity to show all of the locked locations. We have been agnostic about Marsh.
I feel like it's usually worth doing as a proximity play, and you called it.
It's the key. Money and a floater.
We
Who needs
have the floater before we have the canal. Love
Who
it.
needs the canal? Wizard stick, silver armor +4. There's our second ribbon.
Yeah, ribbon is enough to get me actually equipping some things here. You actually, I'll do that, and then I'll put this on you. Yeah, you're probably the one I want alive next most.
Yeah, the real melee carry.
I'm not going to go all the way down to Marsh Locked without having a good reason to.
Yeah, no.
But this, I'm over here. That's fine.
And there's canal. That is at least somewhat amusing.
This is 6 boxes as well, so I'm going to come here. There are 3 locked boxes in Topher. There are 4 in Elf. I should probably do Topher while I'm here. Never mind. We have all the incentive items.
I might check the 3 Toph boxes when we go in for Topher.
Yeah.
If we're even still looking for anything at that point.
We could now just stop opening any boxes that don't have an X on them. And
we could.
I probably won't because we don't have a good weapon yet.
Yeah. I still want some weapon. I still want some weaponry. I don't think you opened the other 2 boxes in that room.
I'll double check. Ice +3 is probably good enough to be in game.
Ice +3, especially 2 of them, is probably good enough. Okay, we did. My mistake.
No, it's all good. Always worth checking. I'm gonna go outside.
Because the sea encounters are less dangerous. The sea encounters are less dangerous than the river encounters.
If I knew I had to go to Ordeals, I would go to Ordeals here while on the way. But I'm gonna hope that I can skip it.
Yeah, I'm with Luffy. I would rather not go to Ordeals at all if I can avoid it.
And I think we guaranteed can avoid it because there's enough extra shards that even if Ordeals was full of shards, we'd be okay.
Yeah. In fact, we're 1 shard away from go-moding... we're 1 shard away from just running straight to all the fiends.
That is true. Although we might get to skip a fiend dungeon too, so... Where are you? There you are. A lot of the time I like to go down, but here I'm actually... Oh, overshot it. Where are you? I want to check these things. I will check this, but I will just reset out if it's not good. Same for Titan's Trove. I don't want to do Earth first. Earth is kind of a pain.
I know what I want to do first.
Are you thinking promote? Because that's what I'm thinking.
Yes. Because I'm seeing levels right around 15, which is the first level where your ninja and your knight start getting spells. Or can start getting spell charges.
I should have stopped in Melmond and turned in the slab while I was over there.
You can make that argument. You can make the argument that you should.
Odron's surprised that I went to Titan, and honestly, that's fair. That was more I have to go somewhere, I'm going to pick a direction, I'm going to pick this direction. It probably would have been optimal to skip it.
I love the look of that encounter.
This is great, although they have a lot of hit points, wow.
You can put that ice +3 on that ninja.
True, I can equip a bunch of things that I couldn't before.
And yes, Odron, and yes, as it's pointed out, Odron, doing something nearby while you're thinking, i.e., not just sitting out and but actually thinking rather than.
I guess we'll go ahead and equip things here. It's probably not going to matter. Yeah.
Doing something potentially useful. Opal +3, yes, please. Doing something potentially useful while thinking is a good plan. Hey, look, it's a paper cut sword.
This turned out to be worth it. I went back into the menu on... Oh, do I even want the Vorpal? I might use it later, but not right now. Yeah, I could stop opening boxes.
That's... At +5, it might actually be not terrible. Note I didn't say good. I just said not terrible.
Well, there's the tents. Don't really need them now.
It's still useful to have for encounter maneps.
That's true. I think I probably have enough cabins.
I mean, not wrong. I might have gone to do mermaids because there's no encounters on that floor.
I could always go back.
You can always go back. You can always go back after. And this is why I don't like the seafood party platter.
Wow, you hate to see that. That's terrible.
Because something in the party platter is going to roll an awful script. Yeah, that flame shield +3 is is legit.
It's worth the time of opening up a slot for. It's a lot of defense, and it's a resistance for the ninja who doesn't have a ribbon right now. There we go.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it's the seafood party platter.
At least it's a pretty gentle version.
At least it's an easy version of the party platter. And the Bane went off.
I will take a few quick greed checks here. Why do the characters look different? They went through class change when they talked to Bahamut and turned into Tail. So now they're like souped up older versions.
And now we don't have to go back. Now we don't have to go back and run through Volcano just to drop carry.
Now there is a chance that I will bite it to Kraken 1 here. We are not super kitted out, but I think it should be okay.
We should be fine. We have a bunch of nuke casts and a bunch of fade casts. And 2 Bane swords that can be used. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm going to Bane Sword, attack, Bane Sword, and fast. I was going to equip the Vorpal. This should be fine too. Oh.
Poison Smoke terminated.
Great. Problem solved.
And that's 4 more shards. I fully approve of skipping Volcano. Waterfall.
It is not nearly enough to be worth doing.
Too far to walk for too few checks.
I was wrong about where I was in the table. That's okay.
Bad news is we still haven't translated the slab, but that's only 1 check, so...
And it can't be anything that important.
I mean, it could be a mass of +5.
I don't see any shards, so I'm going to move on. And I am going to be looking for density of boxes here to maximize the chance I find shards, to reduce the amount of other things I have to do. I am going to go check in here. It's like...
I mean, it's 10 chests.
And there is a shard, so I'll go ahead and open things. I'll throw this just in case. How can you tell they aren't shards? The ones with shards have an X on them. So the one above me right there has an X. It gets a monster in a box. And then you get to fight for your shard.
I think these are weak to ice, by the way.
Oh, I could have just thrown that then.
Yes, because they are marked trapped chests, so... And all shards and only shards are in marked trapped chests.
Now, not every flag set that has Shard Hunt will have that, but we've turned it on here because it makes it a little easier, makes it clearer what's happening, and I think also makes it a little more fun, honestly.
I agree.
There are strategies you can do here if you have lots of warp charges. I don't have lots of warp charges. I'll throw a nuke in case you go first. That is a good XP encounter, but...
It is.
This is going to be our 20th shard. So we may not even have to fight Tia 2 if we don't want.
We might not.
Alternately, we could just go fight Tia 2 and not look at any more boxes. We do have 2 ribbons and a Vorpal +5, so there's some argument to that.
There is definitely an argument for just run straight to Tia 2 and run to the end. Or Tia 1 and run to the end. But I'd like to get more levels.
That's true. I can take encounters on the Bridge of Destiny and such. Oh, we are talking about Tia 2 as if we're fighting the second Tiamat here. It is, in fact, Tiamat 1. This is pretty good XP, if I remember correctly.
This is pretty juicy XP.
Yeah, that's not bad. There's no encounter table advancement for these boxes, so I might as well grab them.
With Vorpal +5 and Ice +3.
You know what? Actually, let's kill these.
This is. I have a personal thing with this particular encounter with the Sparkle Pack. Even more so with the Sparkle Pack in Topher.
They hit very hard.
They hit very hard. They knocked me out of Winter Tournament.
Oh.
1 year. Well, part of it was my mistake for not healing up after Tia 2.
That had a lot of hit points. Nope, 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 nope.
Nope, nope. Definitely nope. That is a lot of nope.
These I'll go ahead and... Oh, no. Throw some spells out. This is going to be pretty good XP. Yeah.
Yeah, that's decent XP.
And the risk is really low. They generally don't do anything. I held up the knife there because it's faster than attacking. Wow, we did not do much damage. Okay. This time I will remember to equip the Vorpal and double check my armor. Everything looks good. Heal 2, sure. Bane Sword fight, Bane Sword, and fast. If we're lucky, we'll just get the Poison Smoke again, but... 8 hits, 830, alright. There we go.
I mean, Tia didn't roll too thin, because that is already enough damage to get you to potentially kill Tia if Tia rolled real thin. Hooray, Bane Sword! Bane Sword took out both Kraken 1 and Tia 1.
Now I am going to go ahead and go to Lefane for the magic store. Yep. Because we haven't...
Superstore.
Sorry?
Yeah, Superstore's a good plan.
We have actually not looked at the levels 5, 6, 7, or 8 magic shops at all. And I can pick up things for these folks. Like this Cure 4, and Life is at 2, I think. Can you learn Life?
Yep.
You can. I think that's all we need there. Doesn't matter. Take Wall, probably won't use it. Life 2? No? Okay.
It must be a Gaia then.
Which we can stop in Gaia, that's okay. Pick these up. Is there anything else that we even want? I'll just see, what do you have? Yeah, don't care. Don't care. Nope. Take the extra temper.
Even though we don't have any charges for it.
We might at some point in the near future, but we don't right now. We don't want to have to come back. Like, if we decide to take a Topher grind, we don't want to have to come all the way back to buy spells.
Right. Banesword has done good work in this seed.
Banesword's a friend. Ukulele was at one of the dwarf thing. I don't need to save here. What am I doing? It was at one of the dwarf things, I think.
I think it was.
Not helpful. Life 2.
Adamant Turn-In. Thank you, Siberian Bull.
We had only used 2 heal potions. Wow. Sure, we'll take Brack. It doesn't matter. Life 2.
There's the...
And while we're here, just because I would hate to leave the fairy in the bottle, the correct thing to do is to release the fairy and then just exit out. Never mind. The correct thing to do is talk to the fairy. Wow.
The correct thing to do is to talk to the fairy because Katana +2. Katana +2 is definitely better than an Ice +3.
All right.
And into Topher at just past 46 minutes.
Right, long Topher going right.
I have... Ugh. Long Topher.
If we have to take a grind, I will probably do it on that tile. It's over here.
I missed what it was.
It was Gershark with Sahag.
Gershark with Sahag. That's not a bad... This encounter. That's not a bad tile to take a grind on. Especially because it's a safe grind because you get no off steps. You get no off time encounters.
Now, I would prefer to not have to take a grind and to just get through this first try, but it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, definitely not guaranteed. Not at these levels.
No, we're level 20, I think, which is, like, doable. But we don't have an evasion item, either. We don't have, like, Roost Stick or White Shirt. I don't even want to see what Lich's script is. I just want to kill Lich before anything happens. Fast is great. That's free. And that was, what, like... 500 HP or something? Not a big deal.
Something like that. And it is great to see that fast on Lich 2. Because it means it's not on something more dangerous. Kraken 2.
That's true. That would be very bad. That was not a lot of damage to that ninja. Wow. Low rolls on the HP for these Fiendry fights.
Yeah. The only thing that worries me is that does that mean that Kraken 2 and Tia 2 are going to roll high?
I mean, statistically, no, but karmically, yeah, probably.
And yes, I know this. I know the statistics. I know that. I know that the HP rolls are completely independent of each other.
Ooh, that's some evasion too.
Yeah, Kelly 2 was pretty paper thin.
Okay.
Kraken 2. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say anything. Except that you might want to heal up.
Yeah. Somebody has hurt Dragon. I forget who.
I believe that is the fighter.
Well, this should be very good then.
Very absorbent Kraken too.
Oh, just wait. Well, finally we found someone who rolled some hit points.
Well, it's also high absorb.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't been. There's not been a whole lot of. See, and it was that encounter, it was even, I think, on that exact square.
Oh. Well, this time, we get to face Chaos. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick look here just to make sure. There, I have ribbons where I want them, and pro rings on the other folks. Katana, Vorpal, I have reasonable things here. Let's go.
Yeah, it is not a bad idea before you pull Chaos to double check your equipment. Make sure your equipment loadout is what you want it to be. Ooh, 3 for 79. And damage poison.
Okay, I would like a lock 2. I would like to attack. I would like an inv 2, and you should be using temper.
Okay, lit 2.
We did not get a temper there, so I might actually life.
I think you did get a temper.
Oh, did we? Well, then we're probably okay. I will still do that. And I'm gonna keep casting inv 2, because we might need him.
Eight for 318. That's gonna do better.
Okay, some lock is helping there too. Ah, I see. One of those.
Eight for 308.
That's okay.
And now we're play and pray. And it looks like we're back up around to the top of the order, of the spell order, and that'll do it.
And that'll do it.
52-52.
I think the timer started a little late. I have 54-44, but
Okay.
either way,
Well, then we'll go by that.
pretty happy. Yeah, that's a good example of going into Topher when you're not 100% sure you can get there. I lucked out that time. Also I think we made the right decisions about what to have equipped and what to use, trying to get through everything quickly. But put like nuclear in that skill list along with nuke, and the run is over.
Oof. A winner is you, Rex.
Well, thank you. I hope this was a reasonable demo of how to do this. You can see 115 chests there. Just because it's Oops All Loose and Shard Hunt doesn't mean you have to open 200 boxes. But it does mean that you open a bunch.
Yeah, it does mean you open a whole lot more boxes.
But we didn't see Masa, we didn't see any of the evasion items, we didn't see dragon armor, and it was just fine. You don't actually need everything. We got enough stuff.
Thief is good enough in the randomizer to put in the lead slot because, one, massive agility buff. That agility buff, so if this is to answer a question in chat, that agility buff, especially with the additional plus agility that this thief rolled in the blessings, helps with attack first. Helps with surprise bonuses. And the thief also has the highest luck, which means run chance. So if you're trying to not take an encounter rather than taking an encounter, having that good run chance is very helpful. And I hope that makes some sense. Yes, the fixed agility also makes them more evasive, as Odron points out.
And this one even had extra agility and luck, so it was an even thiefier thief than normal.
Yes. Yes, it was an even thiefier thief than normal.
Yeah, I guess, do we have any other questions in chat? This was sort of an interesting one because we got to skip, I think, 2 or 3 dungeons.
Several dungeons. Waterfall. We got to skip Waterfall, Earth. Um, didn't fight Carry one. Um, Ordeals. Skipped Ordeals. So yeah, we skipped 3 dungeons entirely, and a fourth one we didn't fight the Fiend.
Yeah, I think getting to skip 3 dungeons entirely is maybe a little lucky, but I think most of these seeds you shouldn't actually have to touch every dungeon.
Hopefully not.
Now, and something that you.
So
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say something that you want to keep an eye on is your key items, because in actuality, the only things that you truly need to complete the game are the loot, the key, and 24 shards. In practice, things that give you access to a whole dungeon, uh, particularly the rod or the chime and cube or oxiel, are very useful, and you probably don't want to stop looking around until you found them. But there are times that you never find the oxiel and it doesn't matter because you just skip C.
Correct. There is a question. How often do you recommend early ice dips with telemagic but not offensive power? Without a lot of offensive power, I find it really hard to recommend an early ice. There's too many different trap tiles that can there's spike tiles that can get you bad. There's too many there's a lot of there's a lot of different enemies, some of which, just like what I said with Marsh early on in the run, something in ice rolled a bad script. You can guarantee something in ice rolled a bad script. There's just enough enemies in there that something did. Um,
I have a slightly different take there. I actually agree with you in this mode where you have to go and open every single box. But if you know that you're just getting the incentive item and you have warp, you just gotta run down, fall down the hole, use warp, open those 3 chests, and then warp your way out. And in that case, I would go in early. But where you have to open everything, lack of offensive power is going to make it a lot harder.
yes, I agree. I agree with that take. I'm thinking specifically on this flag set. So
Yeah, Life Reboot asks about the types of monster in a box. The thing that's going on there is called local formations. I can actually bring up the place where that
So
is shown.
yes,
If you give me a second.
so your monster in a box is going to be a formation from the dungeon that you're in, or for Matoya, or for Corneria Castle or Dwarf. It's going to be something off of a curated list from that area. Oh, they've added stuff. They've added some stuff on the trap chests.
Yeah,
They've
some of these
added
are fun.
some of them are just some of them are just frightening, like the wrong eye.
Yeah, every trap chest being guarded by Phantom. Not maybe not what I would pick.
Um, but that is I do like local formations in chests. That makes a lot it makes a lot of sense. Um, that is Oops, I'll lose Shard Hunt.
That it is. We're going to have the race tomorrow where you'll get the opportunity to try this out or watch a bunch of other folks try it out, or by the power of watching video after it is recorded, both.
Yes, that is accurate. I still haven't watched back Sarah the was it Saracen Monday that had like a 35 something on that black belt seed.
Oh my goodness, I haven't seen that yet either. I'm going to have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous.
I believe pretty much all of the videos here get uploaded to YouTube, and you can catch the VODs on this channel or
Yes,
RPG Limit Break for the ones that are there.
yes. Um, yeah, whoever won that race had some ridiculous time. Like the kind of time that you want to watch the video back with yakety sax playing.
That is exciting. Uh, 3535 VOD is posted to the post race channel. All right. So definitely check that out if you haven't.
Yes. So final thoughts on the seed, Rex?
I thought this was a pretty good example of the seed. It was fairly generous, but you still had to kind of run around. And I think the key to these is that you get a lot of equipment, but you're not guaranteed anything. So to go quickly, you're probably going to have to do a Topher without something that you'd like to have. And it's kind of nice actually because it helps you get practice without whatever that is. I love evasion items. I would absolutely have used a ruse stick 3 times on that fighter if I had had one. And honestly, it might even have worked out better for me that I didn't.
Yeah, because then you would have started seeing more scripts. You would start to see more of the scripts from some of the fiendry fights, and that can get bad. That can get problematic.
It can. And so getting access to practice on those kind of things, I think, is really helpful. I also just think these are fun. You get to play with a lot of toys. You're going to get some fun tools, even if you are missing 1 or 2 things.
I agree. I like these kind of flag sets because they start to get you to think about what do I need? What do I actually need to complete the game? Not what do I want to have, not what would be great to have. What do I actually need? What's the minimum necessary? There's a book series that I've read 2 of called The Theoretical Minimum. In the case of the ones that I've read, it's about physics. It's about physics concepts, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing to keep in mind. What's the theoretical minimum? What do I actually? What's the lowest level where I'm comfortable with diving Topher, and then get a little, and then go a little bit below that. That was advice that's been given to me in the past on how to get faster, and how to get better.
I really agree. I was almost hoping that it would be a really rough Topher so I'd get bounced out and we could show that. But I do also enjoy getting to win a tight Topher. So I'm glad we get to show that instead. I think that might be it for this flag
I
set
think
in
it
this lesson.
is.
Is there anything else you wanted to cover?
Not really anything else I wanted to cover. Then I think what's left is to thank Giga, our who tracked tonight. Uh, thank thank you who restreamed tonight, as well as Rax, and thank everyone for watching. Thank Final Fantasy One Randomizer community for doing the Duckling program, and Saracen and Luffy for having done it for quite a few years and help build it up into what it is today. And I guess on behalf of our whole crew, Giga and Rax and myself, I have been DM Stewart 1981, saying good night, everybody.
Good night.